All right,
10
hello
seconds remaining.
everyone, and welcome to BTS Pro League Season 3. This is the
5
Americas
seconds
edition.
remaining.
Bienvenidos to all of our Spanish speaking friends, too. But we have, of course, Beast Coast versus Infamous Gaming. And we're a little bit further into the draft. Sorry about that. Had a couple technical difficulties, but I am very excited to announce that I was able to get the one, the only, you know him as a couple different names, whether it is the Swordfish or Dark Knight, or most recently, Avo Plus, Mr. Avo Plus, joining me as my co-caster for now, and of course, Pythian being a boss and running production. Thank you so much for joining us today here, Avo.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. What a nice production that I came
Infamous
into.
turn to
Usually these things are on
victory.
fire, but it's an exciting game. Infamous versus Beast Coast, probably one of the new SA shoutdowns, right? Thunder Predator versus Beast Coast has a lot of toxicity. There's a lot more wholesomeness in the Infamous versus Beast Coast matchup, and I really enjoy it because the carry matchup, particularly for these two, I find that
10
you're probably
seconds
seeing two of
remaining.
the best SA carries right now. Obviously Hector and then Pacaz, which is
5
the
seconds
new
remaining.
legend
The
that is coming out.
Infamous turn
17-year-old
to
legend,
victory.
Yep.
Pakaz. Yeah.
I remember watching him on Vicious Gaming back when they started, right? And you were watching Incubus and Vicious in those like small stacks. You're like, oh, this guy has
Rain's
potential.
team
And you
has
watch him on
victory.
Infamous, he's kind of decent. And then somehow ESL, he makes the change. He goes Super Saiyan. Now he's like the best, one of the best carries you can find. Infamous plays completely around him. It's wonderful. I absolutely love watching Infamous's progression over the past few months.
Can we talk about, too, the
10
return of
seconds
Papita
remaining.
God? He
Infamous
has
Yes.
been
turn to
absolutely
battle.
incredible watching him play these playmaking offlaners. We've seen quite a bit of him playing, the Enigma recently, Axe. It feels like he's really found his crew to make the plays now. Very, very exciting.
What I think really made Infamous click to me was that they changed very much how they
10
drafted, right?
seconds
Axel really
remaining
helped out with
in the
that.
battle.
So, Papita did tell us that Axel and him actually. So, Axel takes charge of the drafting, Papita takes charge of the moral captaining, I guess. And they made his pick come much later. Papita's biggest weakness is his laning stage. He tends to
Infamous
honestly
turn to
lose that laning stage
victory.
very often. But in the mid game, he comes online. He really can make those clutch plays. He's great at playing these force multiplier heroes like Axe, Enigma, the Centaur, big stomps. He likes to make those kind of plays. And I like it much more when they pick his hero much later in the draft as an actual win condition because it
10
gives him an
seconds
easier lane
remaining.
and it gives him a lot of impact in the game. And I think that was the key that was missing from Infamous.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
I very much like this pick now, actually. Axe is the kind of heroes I want to see him play. Axe, Centaur, Enigma, Mars are the heroes I think he does best in.
It is really nice to be able to see him on these heroes that can also just turn around an entire game.
Mhm.
Because sometimes, Infamous, they start to slide a little bit. They have a little bit of difficulty, and maybe they're just not able to get that footing early on, like you said, especially, in the lane of Pepita, sometimes does tend to have difficulties with what's being thrown at him. But definitely makes for exciting games. And this is definitely a team, too, that a lot of people kind of were like laughing at. They're like, oh, Infamous, you watch them in, what was it, the Great American Rivalry, and they looked
Mm,
terrible back then.
yes,
It
they
was
do.
painful to watch, and it made me sad because they do have such great players, but they've really hit their own stride. And I think today their game against Beast Coast is gonna be, it's not gonna be a stomp. It's not like they're gonna get rolled over. Although I have to admit, I like what Beast Coast is pulling out here, right? You've got the Terror Blade for Ector, you've got, the Phoenix, the Earth Spirit as well. Whisper most likely going to be on that Leshrac. I'm
Rain's
guessing they're
team
probably going to
has
grab Chris Lux here at the
victory.
very end. But I really like the draft coming out of Beast Coast so far.
I'm uncertain actually on that one. I don't know because every time I see Phoenix on this team, they really do love it on Whisper. Like Whisper's Phoenix is ridiculous, right? So I'm
True.
wondering if they're actually gonna go for the pause 5 as a last pick. Cause that'd be kind
10
of crazy,
seconds remaining.
That would
And you
be
run like Chris
crazy.
Luck
It's a flex
Lashrak.
pick, though, right? With the Phoenix,
It
you can
is.
run it in a couple different
5
positions. So
seconds
maybe they're
remaining.
pulling out some new tricks. I heard that they just got a grill at the Beast Coast house as well, and they're just feeding the boys a lot of steak and whatnot to get them all pumped up. And Beast Coast has looked really good in the last couple matches that we've seen. They kind of slid a little bit. It's been tough for them not having them over there at the team house, but they seem to also have hit their stride here for this tournament.
I was actually wondering why they were doing so well now, but now they explain this whole grill story to me. It makes a lot of sense, right?
They're
That
just
that's why.
feeding them porterhouses and whatnot. They're like,
Yeah,
here,
no
boys,
wonder.
have some meat. Feed your inner caveman and get out there and play some strong Dota.
Okay, so last pick is gonna be a
Choose your
Pugna.
hero.
Is that gonna be Chris Luck's Pugna then?
That's Still a flex pick though, technically. You could
It
run this
is?
anywhere.
Okay.
But it is.
It's
All
Chris
right.
Lux Pugna. All right. So now the question is are they gonna do something crazy with the Lash, or are they just gonna go for something normal and play him on Whisper? All right,
It's gonna be
say Phoenix
Whisper.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, good guess in the beginning for the Stinger Phoenix. I actually interesting pickup on the Pugna though towards the end. I know that Chris Luck does like this hero. It's like one of those low key favorites, right? Because he likes making the enemy suffer, which is why you pick Pugna, to be honest.
Against
But
Selena, though, that could be a
yeah,
double-edged sword. You have to be very, very careful about that because it's going to end up hurting her, but it's also not going to save decrepified targets.
it's odd, right? I think it's a really good idea against the Juggernaut and actually against the Axe as well, because he cancels both of their initiations with a Decrepify.
Right.
But the Lina, as you mentioned, is a bit weak. I actually remember seeing the Pugna a lot. In SEA, he got paid a lot as a pause 4, pause 5. You know, it was actually the terror of SEA. Pause 4 Pugna would save you from any sort of initiation. It was really good. And
He's
I'm
a little
wondering if
battery
Chris...
too. A lot of the times, right? Like you just hook him up with
Right.
your core, and he just, you know, that's the technical term and sound that you hear. But it really lends itself to the playstyle that Beast Coast likes to do. You know, they like
Yep.
to do a kind of a 4 protect 1 over on Ector, and that's a good way to do it. Do you like how none of their names are showing up properly? Apparently, Ector is a professional lawyer.
Is he not 26 still? Oh, right, that's the joke.
26
Right.
is
Right.
Phoenix. Yeah, 6L.
Oh, 26 is Phoenix. Oh,
6L, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. No, Stinger's gonna be 26. But it's a callback to Hector's old name. my favorite name in competitive Dota. That 26 man seducer, 26 women seducer. That's what we used to be called. But yeah, I'm interested in this match. I'm interested in the Pugna versus Lina matchup because usually I would only pick Pugna if you want the Pugna that beats the lane, right? Like if you win that mid lane, then you pick him. Otherwise, you pick him more as support. So picking him against not the ideal lane or even a losing lane is quite the gamble. But I do find that Beast Coast loves to gamble. So
They do, and they like to do very interesting drafts a lot of the time. They're definitely not a team that's afraid to try out, you know, something like a disruptor mid or the Abaddon position 1. Lots of options, but you know, it's okay. They can play around a little bit, right? They're the upper bracket.
yeah, I think so. I actually like much more when Beast Coast tries to do weird things. Like when I see the disruptor mid, I'm like, yes, Beast Coast is back to their usual weird self. If you actually saw them in ESL where they seemed very lost, I think that was probably the worst tournament, even worse than TJR. Their drafts were so standard, right? They're not
Yes.
special. They lost the flair.
Well, I mean, that's one thing that Jenkins and I have talked about too, is that over time, when you keep playing these teams over and over again, you develop these little metas, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you're still playing your own type of Dota, that you're
True.
not, you know, messing around with trying to exactly match or counter each other because you lose it. You lose a lot of that flair. You lose a lot of that fighting spirit. So
I agree. Something I did really love about Beast Coast, though, is I find that a lot of people that don't watch this team very much, of course, not our case, but because we love watching Beast Coast, but a lot of people that don't watch it, they just think, oh, they're creative, you know, they think out of the box. But the truth is, there's a lot of consistency to the way that they draft. You do find some patterns in the way that they draft, which are very obvious, and they think outside the box, but they always, whenever they draft, they remind me of something that PPD said like a long time ago, which is that every hero in the game is a tool. And it's just up to a captain to realize how to use that tool effectively. There's not really a hero that's bad or a hero that's good. It's just that they're all tools used for different things. And of course, some metas benefit certain tools and other metas don't benefit them as much. And Beast Coast seemed like that kind of team. They always think outside the box because they think about specific heroes do specific things. And only those heroes can accomplish them. And they're always very precise about that, which is something I loved about their drafting. So creativity, but with, of course, a lot of logic behind it.
that's important. It's something that you see also when you look over at the side of some of these top tier teams like Secret, doing things that are a little bit different, a little bit outside the box, but they know exactly what they want to do with them and be very surgical about it. So
Yes.
that is
Indeed,
one thing
exactly.
that I've always really enjoyed watching some of these teams, especially, you know, what is it, the saying, if you're not making the trends, then you're just following, right? You're not the top.
Yes.
So
I agree. Beast Coast was definitely a trendsetter. They were the trailblazers, right, in South America. They inspired a whole region to play Dota. I mean, have you seen the amount of Bolivian teams that are coming out right now? That's
I know
all
it's
Whisper.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael is another great example of it. Michael literally comes from being, he said multiple times, as an admirer of Whisper. And I would argue that together with Pakaz, he's probably the other revelation in that team on Infamous. An incredible player, Michael.
Man, I remember when Whisper was first on Infamous over at Dream League, and I was just watching these games, and I was like, man, this kid's gonna go far. Like, I've never seen him before. It was just a totally fresh face. You know, he's playing with all the other Infamous guys. I actually have a picture from like 2 years ago when I met them, and I knew this kid was going places, and it's great now to be able to see that that prediction was correct. And what did he say? I think when I was in Croatia and they were playing under, what was that, Pacific? Was that their name at the time?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pacific. Yeah.
They were cute. They were like, oh, big Moxxie fan. And I was like, I'm a big Whisper fan. It's so fun.
They're such cuties. I honestly love the attitude I think a lot of these South American players have is actually quite inspiring attitude, right? Because they all see the game as literally a game, right? To them, it's actually just fun, and it's really nice to see them. I still remember when beastcoast got eliminated at TI, and you get the exit interview, and Machine is there, being all sad and everything, and Chris Luck is there smiling from ear to ear. Yeah. It's like, nah, I'm just happy I made it to TI. What are you talking about? Why should I be sad?
First SA team to get into the top 8 there. That was a big deal.
They made the Spanish caster cry. Imagine.
They made me cry. I was just like, oh, beastcoast, you're doing it, my boys. But they were back. That was back when they were under the banner for Infamous, too. Because they hadn't quite found their home yet.
Yeah. And then beastcoast became their permanent home now. I'm glad. I mean, I miss Hamburguesa. Cat Burger was something special.
I know. That was a great...
Always in my heart.
That was such a great avatar that Gwashi made for them.
Such a talented designer. She really... I love seeing her drawing stuff. Whatever Slacks hates, she just draws it. It's wonderful. It's very enjoyable.
For sure. All right, well, looks like they're going to start... What's going on with Excel?
Hitting each other.
He's spending some time down there.
Yeah, they usually do this actually. Infamous loves doing this where they try to get the first blood and then TP immediately. Because Axel, he just likes to die very often, so he will dive for kills. He doesn't care. His life is honestly worthless in this team. I think he's the player...
But he didn't go to a lane. He just sat in the fountain.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was lagging a little bit or something, but no. Nope, he was
did
just
say,
in the fountain.
Go, idiot, before they started the pause. So,
yeah,
or
sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
They usually try to go for the kill down bottom with Michael. Is surprising to me. It could have been lag. He also went for level 1 cogs, which is also surprising. Usually you don't see this from Clockworks anymore. His battery cell is much more effective for harassment. But I guess, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not really sure why he's going for this build either. But mid lane is what we're watching right now, which I'm kind of interested in this matchup. I want to see how much Chris Luck can take out of this matchup. It's quite Lina favored, and I like that Lina also went for a full lane control, right? I know. Up top or down bottom, sorry.
No, down bottom, yeah, Ector. Ector ate an arrow to the face, unfortunately, and there wasn't much that the Phoenix could do just because, you know, it's a Phoenix. Tried to use the Sunray, tried to keep him alive, but it's only level 1, so...
Does he already have Sunray?
Yeah, he's level 2.
Oh, right, but usually that's just the point of Sunray, such garbage.
He's got 1 point, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Usually you want to go for the Icarus dive, but...
Yeah.
You do what you gotta do.
I guess the desperation player, right? A lot of players just hate Sunray level 1. It's actually one of the worst skills, but it scales really well from level 1 to level 2. And most players, actually some players start to max it recently. I've seen it a bit in some SEA games where they actually max that before Spirits because it's just so powerful against certain lineups. So maybe, you know, a Stinger does have a peculiar way of playing a lot of the heroes, right? So you gotta let him do his thing. What do you think is going to be the build for Axe this game, by the way? I've seen a lot of Brax Axe going for the Veil Discord build. Very popular these days. Bowie made a video about it. Very interesting.
Ah, the Brax Axe. Always loves that guy. Looks like he's kind of got his life already planned out for him, though. He's going to be very important as being the main form of initiation, so the Blink Dagger, definitely a must-have on this, because who else is going to be able to jump in there? Maybe the Clockwork, but you really want to have 2 people being able to jump in and follow up. You don't want to just be relying on 1 person, especially not a support that's not going to have a whole heck of a lot of gold in the first place in items.
Yeah, exactly. I agree that the Axe here has to be the tempo setter pretty much for this team. It's either you or the Clockwork, right? But Lina can kind of go ganking for kills. Oh, Axel?
He can. So, looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to have to juke around a little bit here. Looks like he's going to try to go for the denial, and it's not going to work, though. Whisper will still be able to get the final hit.
This to me is the Axel just in 101, right? If he can die, he will always choose to die. It doesn't matter if it's denial or whatever. You know, he didn't even think of leaving. He just thought, I see creeps, let me deny myself. That is my job as a clockwork. I think it's actually better that he didn't die to creeps because you actually come back sooner. So, yeah, extra gold, not that big a deal. Whoa, what
Over
a
in the
nice
mid lane,
goal.
though.
That was
Nicely
so
done.
good.
He's got the south with the leap forward coming out from Michael. We'll cancel it out. He has one more leap charge. Needs to get the final hit. Is he going to get an uphill mischance? No. Michael will snap up the rune, deny it from Chris Luck. So that's about how the mid... It's not how you thought it was going to go, but with the rotation coming out from Matthew, they'll be able to secure a kill on Melina, but they'll clean up again. And they also ended up losing Stinger in the bottom lane while all that was going on. I think he's just sitting a little bit too low. As he had been for a bit now.
I mean, you went for Sunray level 2, right? So I guess as Phoenix, you just kind of sold yourself. Like, you have no escape. You're just a dumb bird with no armor and no flying abilities. You're a chicken. You went from like some glorious swan to a chicken.
A sun chicken?
A sun chicken, yes. A chicken that ate too many hot peppers. And the Mirana rotation was nice, but I think that Beast Coast identified the weakness in the Lina, right? Which is that she is one of the more gankable heroes.
Oh, Ektor's dead. Michael on a killing spree here. He's got 3 kills under his belt. He's gonna get the rune now. Life is good if you're a Mirana.
Okay. I love our observer. Absolutely top tier. And I think top lane Axel is also going for a play himself. He has a cog still.
He's gonna try to hold Whisper into place, but they do have Matthew here. The spin's gonna come out. Excel taking so much damage though. This is not looking good for him, although they could turn it right back around again over onto Whisper, but nope. It's gonna be Excel who falls.
Okay, so that was an odd play, because... wait, never mind.
Oh, the follow-up though. There's no spin available. This is not looking good for Pakaz. One more hit will do the trick, and Whisper gets himself another kill. Also forces out the rotation from Faker here in the top lane too.
Very, very weird play there, but both of them, right? Like not having the spin and still cockily going next to them, and of course getting surprised with the split earth. And Axel's play, what was interesting about it is that you saw him initiate and the Juggernaut did not move until the end. Like, oh, I guess we're going in, you know? You don't really want to drag your carry into a play. Like, you actually should be your carry saying, I can kill here, because otherwise he's going to lose a bunch of farm, which, you know, you as a support, you're not concerned about that as much. That wasn't too great, to be honest. That wasn't the best of plays up top, but they can recover bottom, though. Papita's having a really good lane.
And considering that they've gotten 2 kills on Ektor, I'd say that they're doing really well down here and pretty happy with what they're getting. A little bit of movement though going down over here in the mid lane. Excel is getting life drained here by Chris Luck. He's just slowly trying to get away, and he just cannot as Ektor goes down again. Solve coming out for Excel. Another Decrepify over on the Lina. They'll turn it back around again. They have the LSA though. They need to be careful.
Oh, that was such a good play, though, by Chris Luck. Did you see how he cancelled because he knew that Light Striker was coming? Like, he's baiting. He's baiting those spells on purpose because once you lose that on Lina, you really can't rotate very much. And this allows you to actually go for a kill up top. Very well played.
We got multiple kills going on down here. Papita is going to have to be running away here. Another hit coming out from Whisper. Will be able to get the kill over onto Pakaz. He's going to go down to the tower and excel, though, despite his best efforts. And there's not much that Matthew can really do. Doesn't have any of those spells. Does have a couple stick charges, but... is forced back. Man, there were just fights going on in every single lane during that. Avo.
That rocket flare kill was the funniest. Axel just like, oh, I guess I can just kill him, yeah, for free. Sure, all right. That play though by Beast Coast was wonderful. That to me, this is probably the best team in SA to use space in the map. And what they just did there of like trying to force the Lina to stay in the lane for sure, make her waste her mana, etc., and then go for the kill up top because you already saw Lina rotate in the previous engagement, so you wanted to prevent that further. And now up top again, another fight.
Oh, it's a good block though coming out from Pakaz. He'll be able to go collect a kill on Schofield, but they don't seem to have... oh, yeah, they don't have the detection to find this Jug, and he's hungry. He's got an Omni Slash. Not going to be able to quite grab Whisper though. He's too fast over here.
That level 1 Omni, it's always the doubt, even in the carry's minds, like, should I even use this? It's not that much damage anymore, unfortunately, so... I don't think he even knew, right? Like, yeah, you want to play aggressive, but Pakaz, He's barely made it out of this lane okay, right? He's actually the lowest farmed core in this game. Not by much, but still considerable. And TB will recover much more in the jungle. So I like that he's playing a bit more cautious. I don't think Bakaz is the crazy carry you expect from South America. He's much more of a cautious carry most of his plays. He engages with his team, but usually he likes the space.
Oh,
Nice
and
little
there
kill
goes
mid.
Excel.
Again. I mean, it's
I would
just
say
you
if
can
you
just
want to
keep
see
the camera on him.
if you want to see a core player that plays pretty ridiculous, I'd say you look at Mandy over on Team Brazil. That guy will just farm out waves that are not safe at all. It's very, very concerning.
Or Minos. I think Minos when like, all right, guys, I don't see anyone
Minos
on the map.
is so bad about that. Oh my god, how many? I don't want to say he throws games, but there are times where I'm just like, no,
he does.
why are you doing that? Okay, that's your opinion. I don't want to get the fans angry about that, but there are times where I'm just looking at him and I'm saying, this man should not be here. He knows better.
I think the guy gets way too much hate because he doesn't do it as often, right? But like, there are some times you're like, what are you even thinking? And other times when he's the eternal envy of South America to me. Oh.
The kick back with the Decrepify. Michael, you just can't leap away fast enough, my friend. You have to be careful, though. Faker making his way back to the mid lane will force them off the tower. And it does seem kind of funny that there's not much damage on either one of these towers, considering that there's a Pugna and a Lina. But I guess that's a testament to them just rotating constantly.
Yep, exactly. Also, I think that Faker's doing a pretty decent job of never quite leaving that mid lane. He's been a bit shackled here, because he knows if he leaves, the tower is definitely going to fall to the Pugna, and that tower is very important to preserve the Juggernaut's farm. I think this is the right play by Faker, but it is making his game as Lina much harder, because usually
this is the most likely a very dead Phoenix. They have way too much down. There's a dunk coming out from Pepita.
Yeah, this bird is so sad. Stinger can't really do much.
No, he got the rune. That was his job. That was his mission. Mission accomplished.
Very good point.
And then died. But
yeah, it's your job.
Happens sometimes.
You're getting gold for your
gold
carry.
For your whole team. Exactly.
The Moonlight Shadow, the play. Are they going to catch Earth Spirit here?
I don't think this is the target they want, but it's the target they're going to have to take. The call, the arrow, the Star Storm, everything, waiting for the dunk, and they'll let Excel get the final hit. Managed to find the Phoenix as well. They do have Egg, but it doesn't look like they want to actually engage too hard on this right now. But on the back line, Michael! Oh, so close. Almost get the split off, though, over on Excel. He's not going to be as lucky as Michael, as he will get burnt to death with the bird and the goat.
I love this animal draft. It's quite nice, Beast Coast, because they still get one little counter kill from that. You only lost the Earth Spirit, which, as you mentioned, is not the target you wanted, right? You just kind of tanked the gank there. I don't know if that was a mistake by Infamous or just a well play by the Earth Spirit. Maybe they went for a triangle gank a bit too early.
Call coming out. Arrow getting thrown out. It's gonna miss though over here on Whisper. The Sunray will get interrupted with the LSA. They still have the egg if they want to try to go for it. It's like they're just gonna roll on out though.
Okay, the Phoenix didn't die there, which was surprising. I thought for sure he was dead. Still the Supernova, as you mentioned, to get out the last second. That was a bit of a difficult position to put Supernova, right? Especially when you're up against, like, you're against Mirana and Lina. It is a really tough game for Stinger. Landing a good Supernova this game is near impossible.
Ooh. Oh, they are like right next to each other here. Look at this, Pepita, Michael looking for a setup. It's not the real Terrorblade though, so they'll know that they're here. The silence being thrown out onto Michael, plus the nukes trying to go land the stun. Not going to be able to quite do it. But they'll be hunting around. I will say that Schofield is always in the right place, right time to break ganks and smokes and whatnot.
Yes.
That is one thing he's excellent at. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes a little too far because they need more time, they need more space, and then eventually Schofield goes from making the space to just kind of feeding a little bit. But you know, I'm not gonna judge the 10k Poppy over here. Over though on the side, Whisper eating the arrow LSA. They force him forward with the Laguna though. They'll be able to go get the dunk. There's a swoop forward though, coming out again here from Stinger. Doesn't want to go and use that egg. He needs follow-up. He needs the rest of his team. But now it looks like Chris Luck stuck on the back lines. It's just getting ripped apart. They'll go for the egg, but it doesn't matter. They will end up losing them, and they'll end up getting the egg as well. Schofield rolling on out here, finds the kill on Excel before he's taken down. There's going to be a blink soon, though. He's got to be very careful to blink in a second. Can they find it? I don't even think they need it. They'll go for a triple kill for Pepita.
I think that game, that team fight really exemplifies what the game is going to be on Phoenix, which is short and painful. Like, it's just not possible to get Supernova. Like, they ignored it for a solid amount of time. It was a really good positioning for the Supernova, but against Lina and Mirana, what are you going to do?
Well, you need more people there too, though, to be fair. You can't just do it one at a time like that. East Coast is just not quite ready. As they go and they find themselves yet another opening, Whisper just gets sliced apart. And they're just falling one by one like dominoes right now. They have to be careful.
Yeah, they take this tower, this would be really bad. But at least they're defending the tier 1. I actually don't think it's that big a deal losing your Lesh if you manage to secure this tier 1, but I think the tier 1 is going to fall anyway. Like, Faker's committed to this. What is Axel doing? Oh, he's scouting? Okay. He's just playing around with a Phoenix. They're not going to lose a tier 1 in the end, so... Kind of a win in my book for Beast Coast. That jungle is so valuable for Terrorblade. I actually find that even if you were to sacrifice Chris Luck, it's actually kind of worth it for the tier 1. Because it protects your jungle so well. You kind of need that. Look how they're centering around it.
Ooh, double damage rune available top.
Look at the build as well for Pugna. He actually went for a 4-step first. Interesting, as his first item. So to prevent kind of like actually to deal with the clockwork, somewhat for the axe. Usually you see Pugnas, of course, going for the Ether Lens first, but I like the 4-step build. Very creative, but I think that's the right choice this game.
It protects you so much better too with everything that they've got coming out from the side of Infamous. You know,
certainly.
Whether it's, you know, like you said, the Clockwork Cogs, or, you know, you see that someone's about to get hit with the LSA, trying to force away from Axe. You've got a lot of good reasons to pick it up, so definitely not upset with that.
Yep, and also to your point, right, is the fact that there's so many people that can just jump you, right? So Ether Lens gives you range. Is like, well, what do I care if Clock can just jump at me, or so can Axe or Jug. Mid though,
there's a silence. They jump right over here onto the Jug, but they don't have anything to cancel out his TP, so he's absolutely fine, but it will secure them these top bounty runes.
Is there any point in the game where this becomes... No, so Jug can actually do this most of the game, right? Because TB is not really a basher carrier. You don't have anything that really pierces BKB. So until TB has enough farm to just beat you during the Blade Fury, this is something that Pakas can abuse quite a lot this game, which I like. That's why he's farming the mid. The mid is probably the most dangerous area right now in the game. So if you're farming it, you better have an escape plan ready if you're a core. Or your Axon, who is just... He doesn't care if he dies. He's there to tank smokes. He's there to create space. He's there to threaten the tier 1. It's all around this tier 1 mid. It's actually the whole game. And Beastco is trying to take advantage of this by farming up top and using Whisper as their... A bit of a split pushing, you know, kind of forced enemy team back. Beastco is playing better with the space, but I find that Infamous is taking better fights right now. And I think this speaks a bit to how the teams play as well, because Infamous is a team that likes the early mid game much more so than Beast Coast. Beast Coast is definitely a late game team. So Infamous knows how to
well, when you have a Terrorblade like that, of course.
Yes,
You're playing for the late game.
100%, but I think even if Infamous had the Terrorblade, like I've seen Hector go late game on an Ursa, you know, he doesn't care. He's late game. He's the late game guy. And Infamous does like to put a lot of pressure early. Now they finally decided the tower has done its job, and they can let it die. Interesting. All this effort for nothing. You did force 2 cores rotations though for this big tower. It's not bad. And if you get a Phoenix for free,
jump forward. Yeah, they'll find Phoenix. They'll follow up with the arrow. It's a great combination. Schofield, just go, drop the magnetize here. They'll follow up with a really nice egg, and they don't want to fight over there. It's a good stop though coming out. The Laguna Blade comes through though. They'll be able to go. They take down the egg, and they take down Schofield. XL on the back end though. Trying to get this final hit off here over onto SL, but he's not able to find it. They don't have the detection. Reveal himself briefly, and the Moonlight Shadow is indeed over, so Whisper will be able to clean up the kill. But it really feels right now Infamous is just in firm control of not only this map, but the game.
Yes, I would agree. Infamous does seem to be dictaminating the tempo a bit more, though I do find that Beast Coast is kind of forcing them to fight where they want to, right? They're fighting away from Hector's farming spot, which actually shows, you know, that's why Hector's net worth is so high. And it does seem like Beast Coast is saying, all right, now you fight near tier 1, now you fight near tier 2. Okay, yeah, you fight whenever you want to fight, but you fight where I tell you. And that allows Hector to still keep up farming, which could be good enough. I find that Lina's and Axe are good enough to deal with the Terrorblade, and especially if the Jug mixes his damage a bit with MKBs or Mjolnirs, it's not going to be as easy a game for Hector to carry. But, you know, it's Terrorblade. I would probably put him as the top 2 scariest carries in the game right now. Sven and Terrorblade, probably the biggest threats right now, in my opinion.
I'd say Drow's up there too, but you need to have a very specific draft if you want to be able to run that.
I think Drow is more the counter carry, right? Like
Oh, it was a good interrupt coming out from Faker, but the Force Staff moving Tokyo forward. Now it looks like Chris Luck is going to be the one who pays for his sins here. So he's going to try to go decrepify, buy himself a little bit more time. Got the life drain, but immediately he's canceled out. And there's the dunk from Pepita.
Was that Chris Luck's Force Staff? Did he Force Staff? Wow.
Yes, because there's no Force Staff over on the Earth Spirit, so he ended up saving his support, but goes down in the process. Oh, Schofield, you're hanging around a little bit too long. This gank squad has no breaks. Faker is dominating. And in the top lane, looks like Hector's gonna have to TP out as he gets found out by Mr. Akaz himself. Bottom lane, Sunray's gonna get used over onto Axe. He's trying to cancel out the blink, trying to get Whisper away as they do manage to take the tower. He's got his dancing shoes on though, looks like. No, the arrow coming in from Michael. They find him. They'll go right back in again. The Phoenix has already left the building. This is a very dead Whisper.
Wow, that was a... Poor Beastcoast getting torn left and right. But I actually want to go back to that play what they did to Schofield, which is... Yeah, Schofield shouldn't have stayed there as long, and it's certainly true, but I want to point out what Infamous did, which is, if you notice, they actually went for the kill and immediately went for the smoke right after. That is actually something that is very, very common in South America, not so common in other regions. It was first invented by Elite Wolves, which was one of the best South American teams.
Oh, I remember Elite Wolves.
And they used to, I call it the South American smoke, you know, you go for a kill and immediately right after, right as you're out of vision, and smoke and go back again. Use the smoke for the movement speed. That's very characteristic of this really aggressive region, and I think Infamous is the team that best utilizes it. So, while that play by Schofield was not so great, I'm so happy to see the regional smokes that, you know, it glosses over that.
We're Dota boomers, Avo.
We really are, yeah.
These Dota zoomers aren't gonna know what we're talking about.
Who are
they're
these
gonna
Elite
be talking
Wolves?
about SG Esports, and they're gonna be like, who is that?
Man, you gotta know them.
Ooh.
Their run in the Kiev Major was legendary. Oh.
They were. Oh, man.
Good time. I'm glad I can share this boomer thing with you. I'm glad someone understands me.
I do. I definitely remember those days.
And I think Infamous
Pour
very
one out
reminiscent.
for the homies.
I think Infamous is very reminiscent of those days. I guess because the Org's been around for so long, and so has Pepita. I mean, Pepita's older than both.
Pepita has... I had the good fortune to sit down with him at one of the events and, like, ask him about his story. Someday you have to hear, like, his whole story of how he ended up becoming a professional Dota player. It's so inspiring. The amount of just hardships and whatnot that he had to go through, and, like, the couches he had to sleep on, and, like... It's so impressive. It's so impressive. And you don't get to see those stories out of some of these regions, you know? Some of them are very lucky. You've got families that are super supportive and wonderful that are allowing them to, you know, follow their dreams. But Pepita is definitely one of those guys that had to make his own fortunes, especially because it was so, you know, back when esports wasn't accepted, like, at all.
True. And he even played the game that was not popular in his country, right? So kind of like just because he was passionate about it. I love the guy. He's very inspiring.
I think he's the only Argentinian Dota player that is on a team right now. Oh, over on the back lines though, that's gonna be a dead Schofield as he rolls right on into 3, but they'll get a kill on Excel. So they'll lose the support for support. Whisper though, nice LSA coming through. The Phoenix swooping in, and Hector's just chasing after them right now. Does have the Scotty, but they're just not able to quite hold him in place. We'll turn this back around. The LSA planted perfectly over here, followed up with the arrow. This is not looking good now for Hector. They need something to try to keep him alive, and they'll go. They've got the little battery. Can they keep him alive? Is Chris not going to be able to do it? Yes, he's still going. They'll find the kill on Michael. The egg will pop, and this is going to be an absolutely still alive and breathing Hector as they go forward again here with that Icarus dive. They'll use the Sunder. And they're trying to chase after them, but where's your catch, guys? How are you gonna grab them? Looks like they've had enough. They'll follow up, though, with the split. XL coming in. He does not have that hook shot, though. It looks like he's gonna die, though, as he's being placed into the cogs. Over on the bottom line, the life drain coming out. Stinger finding the kill on Pacaz. Or rather, Pacaz finding the kill on Stinger, my bad. And then, again, that Decrepify. They're trying to just take down this Jug. It's a bit difficult, though, and Hector getting forced forward. Does not have the Metamorphosis any longer, though. So he is going to be forced to run and try to grab anyone they can. Not going to be able to land that Split Earth, though, over on the Jug. So Pacaz absolutely fine. But a bit of a hairy situation for Beast Coast. Didn't feel like they were completely in control of that last fight. Infamous definitely bringing the pain.
Yeah, I think that both teams actually played that fight quite well, because Infamous held their position around the triangle, which was what they had to do. Even though it was the enemy triangle, they needed the high ground. But then you never expect Schofield to go, I'm gonna throw my corpse at you, you know, and that's what he kind of did, and just ran.
You should at this point. You really should expect Schofield to throw his body at you.
That is the kind of plays that he makes a lot. That's why he likes Earth Spirit so much. But that play I think was actually really wonderful. Buybacking immediately, so they clearly planned for him to die, and that allowed him to take an okay fight. I mean, right now I think the objectives are a bit different because beastcoast is trying to relieve the pressure and go late, and Infamous all they're trying to do is end as soon as possible, right? They can still win late. It's not like this game is over if this goes late, but it becomes harder for them. So they're just trying to keep the pressure up, kill as many people as possible, try to take objectives. They've only taken one tier 2, and the tier 1 top is still standing. It's not the best fast game for Infamous right now.
It's funny you say that, but like also at the same time, the South American body count in these games is always pretty funny to look at, considering
Yes.
we're 23 minutes into the game and we've got, what, 36 kills on the board right now? It feels like these games are going on much further, but there's a roll in. They're going to use Excel, waiting for Papita to jump in here, but they immediately Delta split because they spot him off over onto the side. The hookshot doesn't come through, so this is a dead Excel. Arrow's just a little bit off the mark, but they buy enough time for Pakas to go and grab up the Aegis. So Schofield again throwing his body at them. Gonna try to slow down Papita. Turn it back around. They've got the life drain. He's got the call though, the follow-up. It's not quite enough damage to get the kill, but they do have the dust. Will turn right back around to get the Scotty coming through, but the arrow perfectly hit. We'll go in again, and there's gonna be a dead Schofield as the Laguna Blade connects with his face. They won't be able to take down Papita though.
I actually like this play by Beast Coast again. You know, they're playing around the metamorphosis quite well. They throw away the Earth Spit. I think Axel was trying to play a bit like Schofield there, you know, be Schofield Jr. But unfortunately, as a position 5, it's just much more difficult. As a pause 5 is not about, you know, wasting time and then getting away. Pause 5s are about wasting time and then dying. Like, that's your role. So I find that Schofield has a much better time being able to take advantage of those situations, especially with an Earth Spit, right, opposed to the Clockwork. He did miss his hookshot though, which is something different altogether, but you know, that's you miss some, you win some, you miss some, right? They say you miss
like that.
They say that you miss all the shots you don't take, so at least he tried.
At least he took it.
Exactly.
He did not throw away his shot.
Indeed. And now Infamous, I wonder if they're going to try to take this tier 2 by putting some pressure, or they're looking for objectives. They could secure the Roshan area by taking that tier 1 up top. Pakas is playing really
It's so difficult for them though, right? To like try to push, especially like high ground. You've got something like Whisper, you've got the Pogna.
Yep. I quite enjoy the control of the triangle that Beast Coast is keeping this whole game. They know that triangle is super important, so they keep warding it. Even if it gets dewarded, it doesn't really matter. They keep warding and preserving the vision. It's so difficult right now to stop this push though, in the mid lane, because Juggernaut has a safe escape, and you can't really stop.
This ward's doing so much work. Finally, Michael finds it up in the corner, so they'll be able to take it down, but definitely hasn't felt great. Hector already just leaving right as Pakas goes top.
Well, that's a good tower now that they've taken. Now the map has opened up completely. The jungle is pretty much not available for Terrorblade. And TV is just, he's a hero that can kind of farm a triangle, and he's okay at doing it, but you much rather be able to farm a whole jungle with your illusions. Luckily, he can farm without risking himself. But when you start doing that as TB in a losing game, the problem is actually you fall behind on experience a lot, which is a big deal on TB. Because you usually want to reach those milestones, especially level 20 or so. And as you can see, they're just going with him. You know, you just now have a Guardian here, which is Schofield, and Schofield will die for you. And that's it. That's the only play you can make. And this means that tier 1 will of course fall on the top lane. This means now you got control over the triangle as Infamous. And now, you know, as Beast Coast, your options are getting smaller and smaller, and this means that Infamous can predict you much easier. Okay, this is
a little bit of harass being placed over onto Pepita, but there's a lot of people sitting up on that high ground. They have to be aware. They know that they've got to be up there, so.
Yeah, that's weird. They're trying to like kind of chase him out, but it's getting to the point where even Beast Coast can't really do much, right? Even Papita in the middle lane, like you're in hacks. You're in the middle lane, you can be ganked by both positions, but because Infamous is keeping such good control over the triangle, the mid lane is actually kind of secure for them now. And you can do these really aggressive plays, you can push super aggressively, and there's nothing Beast Coast can do to stop you. They just can farm on Terrorblade and hope that eventually you can 1v5 your whole team. It's a tough position.
Gone are the days of the Costabile Terrorblade where he 1v5s everyone, because that was a ridiculous patch for that hero. I'm not sure that that's something we're going to see in this patch, but I mean, never say never. I do enjoy a good fight, and I do enjoy a good comeback story.
Oh, for sure. I think this is just so much more difficult against a Jug, though, because Jug can mix his damage really nicely, and TB suffers a lot against the Mjolnir MKB builds. If it was an Ursa, Lifestealer, Troll, I'd be like, yeah, you know, TB can still 1v5 him against Jug. That's tougher. Especially ever since they fixed the Omni, so it doesn't get dispelled with Manta anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can actually Omni without being afraid of just TB using one item and countering you. How stupid was that? Oh my god, Jug was so bad before. He was just a terrible pick, and now he's actually kind of viable.
I'm still just not a big fan of Jug, personally. I know that Purge and I fight about this sometimes. He's like, Jug is so fun. And I'm like, no, he's really not. Like, he's a jack of all trades and just a master of none. I don't know. That's just my feelings on this, but...
No, I agree with you.
Beast Coast.
Oh, this
smoke gets breaked up. Alright, again, it's the Schofield. They have the Laguna. Skewels, though, buys him a little bit more time. Excel will fall. There's the Sun Rays keeping them alive. They're pushing down here over onto the mid lane. They've got the Jug. There's the call. Oh, it's beautiful. They're going to be able to go. They take out Schofield. Looks like Whisper is going to be next to fall. The BKB is up and running over here on the Terror Play, but they need to figure out who are they going after? Who are they hitting? Because they're not hitting Jug. The BKB duration is over now. This feels very sloppy. Rests now. Chris Luck forced to run away. They did buy back on Whisper. They find their attention though over here onto Jug. They'll follow up with the egg. This is looking like they might be able to get in. Yes, they'll be able to do just enough damage so that they'll get that kill. They'll be able to take down Excel. And all it took was a buyback here from Whisper and a nicely placed egg.
That was surprising, because I was with you on the field that I think that was super sloppy. It seemed really odd by Beast Coast in the beginning, because they break their smoke. Usually when they break your smoke and they're right next to you and you have no advantage, you go, okay, retreat, 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 we try again. But Beast Coast just kept chasing after them because they knew the TV was strong.
Oh, Papita Gato jumps in, grabs himself too with the Laguna. They'll take down Whisper, they'll take down Michael. But now they're hunting after Papita. They don't have the Metamorphosis though. I don't think they should really go trying to chase. And that is one of the downsides to Terrorblade, is he really does kind of need that Metamorphosis. LSA, uh-oh. Hector, did you get a little bit too greedy here?
They don't have much follow-up, I don't think. They need the Jug.
But they do have the push potential. I guess it was... Oh, the pull forward though again. Glimmer comes out.
I think TB's hard to kill, but Whisper is definitely a killable hero, so you better be careful. They'll take in turns
Whisper went
pushing.
down. It was actually Chris Luck that went down during that.
Yes, yes.
They're not all tagged up sometimes, but looks like Schofield, though, is going to get held into place. Sunray is beautiful, it's wonderful, but it doesn't heal you enough in this situation. So they do end up losing Schofield.
Okay, so I was checking who force-staffed him, and it was one of his teammates. I thought it was Faker who did a great force-staff, but they just force-staffed him forward by accident there. Or maybe Papita knew, and that's why he was turned that way. I don't know. That was a weird play, but it's only Schofield in the end. Honestly, Schofield's died so much this game that he's actually really low level, which is a next level strat. So that means that now you actually come back sooner. You think I'm joking, but I think that some players actually do this on purpose. Axel does this too much. Axel dies way too much.
If it's too much, does that mean that it's really on purpose, though?
That's what I like to think. You know, that's a 9,000 IQ player, right? If you die like 10, 12 times, you're dumb. But if you die 20, now you're thinking at a different level, right? That's what I tell my pups.
With the 200 IQ there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not feed. Yep. I think a lot of the players in South America understand that because it's very carry-oriented, so a lot of the supports are very sacrificial in South America. If you watch SCA, actually, it's completely different. The supports are quite the opposite. They're like, no, I'm the carry now. And you're going to listen to what I do. I might be pause 4, but I'm going to carry your game.
All right, well, 31 minutes into the game. We're about 3K net worth lead, but it's been going back and forth this entire time. Still feels fairly close.
Yeah, I think it's anyone's game, honestly. Beast Coast has managed to keep up with the Terrorblade really well, which is what they need to do. Actually, going back to the Jug problems, the problem I have with Jug is honestly exclusively with Jug and competitive, which is that his kit right now is made to be a kind of a late game hero, right? That's how his Omnislash scales with farm. So he's made to be like a real, I mean, not super late game, but kind of like a carry 40, 50 minutes in. But the problem that Jug faces in late game is called Lotus Orb. And in pubs, it doesn't really matter, but in competitive, reflecting that Omnislash is actually kind of easy. It's not that difficult for competitive players to do it. They do it really consistently. And it just sucks that an item like that can counter you because, again, in pubs it doesn't really matter, but in competitive it happens all the time. And that means that Jug's kit doesn't really have the synergy because you're like, oh, I kind of want to play early, but if I play too early, then I lose. And if I play late, then I will also lose because they'll get Lotus, and you don't really know how to play the hero tempo-wise. And that's what makes it kind of weak. Okay, that play down bottom.
Okay, yeah.
Chris Luck's dead?
That's a dead Chris Luck.
That's dead book now. Okay, that was easy.
Roll on out here from Schofield. The hook shot, but doesn't sound like it connected. All of a sudden, just all the heroes are down here in the bottom lane. Schofield, the Yules comes out, followed with the arrow, followed with the call, followed with everything in the kitchen sink. Looks like this is going to be a dead Schofield. The Sunray, though, but yeah, buying him enough time that they turn around, they get Excel, and they don't manage to actually kill Schofield. He's going to roll on forward, try to slow them down. He's going to just absolutely eat that entirety of the Omni Slash, but BKB gets popped. Looks like they're just going to go and ignore Michael over here. So they're going to chase after the Jug. Buyback coming out here from Schofield. He wants to be a part of this, but again, where is their catch? How are they going to grab this Jug right now? The roll forward. They're going to be able to go slow him down. They're looking for it. Roll forward. Be able to slow down Axe. Throw out the slow again over here onto Juggernaut. They get the silence off, and they do finally manage to kill him after about a minute's worth of chasing. Look at this. Schofield again just throwing his body over here at Axe. The kick back here. Right over to Whisper. Get that stun off, plus the Sunray, plus everything else. Can they finally take down Papita? Look at that Scotty hit. Now it's going to be Whisper. Gets the final hit and collects the kill. What a chase.
That Jug can't hold his own anymore, right, against a Terrible. I feel like he's just incredibly weak right now. TB just metamorphoses and he tanks you. I think they're doing a really good job of making sure that Omni Slash doesn't have the impact it should, either forcing him to use it early or mitigating the damage somehow. So BTS understands the strength of the Jug. It's really the Omni Slash. Otherwise, TB will win. Oh? How is he this fast? Faker's flying.
I just like watching Hector just run at them all of a sudden, and just the way that they ran away, like, oh no, we know we can't deal with him now. In the beginning, we were the bullies, but Arrow's gonna get tossed in. We'll land over onto one of the illusions. They've got the Sunray. I don't think you fight this. Maybe Excel gets a little cheeky play, but like, look at this. They're already pinging it out. They're trying to make sure that they can't get anywhere near this pit. They have a sentry ward over here on the side, but it's Dyer's. Again, rolls right into Lina. They have the dust.
Oh, no.
They should be able to go and get a kill on Faker, though. He has the BKB. He's actually going to be just fine here. Goes in with the Laguna Blade, tries to get the kill over on the Whisper. They have the Guardian. Here's the leap forward from Michael. It's going to be a dire kill. Excel grabs the Aegis of the Immortal. What a god! And now he'll just hold everybody in that pit for a little bit longer. He'll pop the Aegis over on the side, though. Hector, he's mad. He wanted that so bad. He doesn't have it. So now he's going to have to just chase after Papita instead. And he wants to kill Faker. They've got to find this angle, though. They have to go and get any sort of catch on the backside here. Light little bit of coming right back in again from the Pugna. They'll find the kill on Excel. There's the call coming out again, but they have the Decrepify. Is they going to be able to keep Whisper alive? Yes, they are. They turn it right back around again. They go to get themselves another kill. Can they finish up on the Jug? Whisper says, oh no, I don't want to take this, but they'll find it with the Pugna ward. And just like that, Faker's the only one left alive.
Tip Chris Luck, please. Are you kidding me? What did he do that team for? That was amazing. He kept, literally him alone kept Whisper alive that whole time. He actually mitigated a ridiculous amount of damage for Schofield as well. Oh, this Pugna pick. It all made sense. Now it all makes sense.
It's all the steak they've been feeding Chris Luck. All the grilled meats that they gave him.
Now we know.
The power of beef.
I mean, that was just an incredible team fight, honestly. That's one of the things that BTS excels at, right? They understand timings well, and they know that when they can win. In fact, this is what I actually want to touch on when you said about Hector, because he runs at you, right? You know, in the comms, he actually just goes to his team and says, we're stronger. He goes, somos más fuertes. And then the team goes, oh, okay, what do we do now? It's like, he just starts running at them. Like, there's no plan or whatever. Hector just tells his team, like, we're stronger now, we're going to fight now. And his team obeys and goes behind him.
I believe in English, it's called, it's go time.
Yeah, sorry, that's it. That would be the perfect translation. Yes.
Oh, Faker, my friend, why did you show yourself? This is not a good idea. They even have a Dagon over here on the Pugna. They force out the BKB, and I believe that's the 9th. Oh, wow, we're down to 6-second BKB now. That's not feeling super great if you're this Lina.
No, certainly not. I feel like Lina... I mean, Lina is actually out of the pool of heroes that Faker usually plays, right? Which is Void Spirit, Quap, Ember, and Invoker. You know, the 4 heroes, the 4 Faker heroes. Lina's not quite up there. And one of the weaknesses that the Lina has on Faker's playstyle is that Faker usually plays a really sacrificial mid. And you can see here he's actually struggling not to just kill himself for the enemy. Like, he constantly goes in, because he's so used to doing that, though. He's used to creating space for Pakaz, and he dies at the beginning, but allows Pakaz to kind of get the farm he needs, or maybe Pakaz reinitiates and cleans up. But in this game, because Lina is such a snowbally hero, you can't lose that momentum. You can't just sacrifice the Lina like that. And that leaves Infamous with a bit of a gap. Because Papita goes in, Papita's great at doing that, but you go, alright, but who's gonna waste their time? Who's gonna be the person who like kind of makes them dizzy and dances around them. That's usually Faker, and they've lost that element in this game. And you're seeing the struggle in the team fights.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he plays a sacrificial mid usually. I would say he plays slippery mids. I'd say he has ones that are usually, you know, very mobile and is able to poke. I believe he's best on the heroes that he can poke and be like just really, really annoying. But on Lina, it's a lot more difficult unless you have the right items to do that. So he's doing a great job with this. You can tell, like you said, he's like, oh, I would really like to just go in there and get that kill and be a little risky. But in this case specifically, he cannot play that way. And he's been playing fantastically. 7-1 and 13 right now. So you can see the discipline coming out from this young player.
It's really good because Faker used to be unable to swap from his role. Like, it was a thing, I mean, I don't know, 6 months ago. He really could only play that one role. And now you're actually seeing him play other mids often, much more often right now, which is good. It almost seems like they're practicing, right? Like they're trying to get Faker a bigger pool. Because in ESL, for example, when Infamous started to be really good, people just figured them out and realized, like, if we ban Faker, we're going to put them in a really difficult situation. And now his pool is expanding. I like it much more. And I appreciate your correction as well. It's true, he does not play sacrificial. He plays with less farm. He plays so that if he dies, it's okay, but he's not looking to die. He's certainly looking to get away from that team fight, which is why Void Spirit is his best hero, I would argue. A Void Spirit and Volker.
We haven't seen like hardly any Spirit brothers in this tournament so far. Like, at least not in the playoffs. It just
they're
seems
very
like
popular in the group stages.
Yeah, but they're not as popular here, or they just don't seem to make it through the draft, it seems.
It's just the Earth Spirit, right? Is the Earth Spirit the only one that we're seeing very often?
Yeah, Earth Spirit. Yeah, we're seeing the Earth Spirit. Occasionally, you know, the Storm Spirit's very, very specific, but...
Yes.
All right, Ektor is feeling very mighty, very strong. Does not have it. Yeah, you know, it's just him yelling. It's go.
Vamos, vamos!
Vamos!
He's screaming.
Yeah.
Actually, Ektor's very quiet. He never yells.
I love seeing the comms on some of these teams. When you just see them just start screaming. What is it, the Having Liberty guys, when they play? they like scream the entire time. Some of the comms on the Beast Coast, I like that they do, what is it, the hot mic? Is that what they call it?
Is it?
Where you can hear their comms? Yeah, I don't speak Spanish very well. Like, I can understand some things, but it seems like a really cool, like, bit of content that they put out. I'd love to see more of that with some of these teams. I understand why you don't want to obviously show everybody, you know, how your comms work. But if you can find, like, a game or something where you can make it arrow, sidestep. Is it bad that I want to call out the Jugs in-game name because I think it's really, really funny during team fights?
What
and there's Ancient Psychic Tandem War Elephant. But guys, please.
That's do you think he knows what that means? I'm not really
I don't
sure,
know where he even thought of that name. But you
Ancient Psychic Tandem War Elephant. It actually makes sense though. Those words together, they seem nonsensical, but when you think about it,
they do fit together.
This one, I wish you had Jenkins with you, to be honest, because he would probably make up a story about this in some really convoluted way.
Oh, I'm sure. The other day he was telling me a story about how one of the players was like eating baby animals or something. I don't even know.
Oh, the squirrel.
Yes, that's it.
The live squirrel. I saw that clip. that was a great story.
Why is he like this?
I think it's wonderful. I was actually laughing a lot. I think that's the best kind of humor, you know. So absurdist, so crazy that nobody could possibly ever relate to that story.
I think Slacks also was telling a story about when he met Gork.
Yeah, that was the one.
It was something very similar too.
Yeah, they have a very similar
style. Two of them to share stories. Oh, the call though, going forward immediately. They pop the Lincolns, they got the Lotus as well. They'll keep him alive using the little Pugna battery. Ektor is just gonna take a moment here, just stand there, and go right back in again. Feeling very, very powerful. You can see XL. They don't have the detection though. They have it right over on the side actually. So they do see them. They'll kick forward. They're doing so much damage to this Jug. That was a nice call from Pepita, but look at the way that they just keep split up now. Sieging away over here again with that Lincolns. It's hard for them to jump in. It's just a little bit of poking.
I like what they did with the reflection, where they actually just reflected and they didn't see Pepita in the high ground. They go, that's not normal. He should be there for sure. And so he backs out immediately. He's using reflection to scout. Very smart, actually, move by Ektor. These smart plays.
Oh, the hook shot though, over on the skull field. Mules though, and they're standing nearby. They're looking nice. Separate though here from XL. And they don't want to fight this. They're too much out of position because in comes Ektor again, just chasing after Michael. The spider legs are very cute, my friend, but I'm not sure they're going to be enough to get you out of harm's way. All of these leaps coming out. Looks like Infamous, they want to back off. They want to go back to their high ground. Casual arrow tossed out. Schofield just barely makes it away, but they'll go to find the Pugna. They've got a lot of ways to keep him alive. Look at all these Lincolns, the Lotuses, everything. As they go right over here onto the back line, there's going to be an egg getting popped over here. Looks like Hector, is he going to be able to stay alive? No, he's not going to be able to. They get the kill on Hector. He can't get the thunder up in time. Over on the back end, they separated it so well, but it looks like we're going to say goodbye to the jug. As again, Whisper goes down. Papita's here right in the nick of time. Blink, blink, gets the kill on Chris Luck. Hookshot comes through, lands over on the golem. But looks like our little bird friend is going to get stunned up with everything. And just like that, they end up losing their Ancient War Elephant tandem, whatever, also known as Pekaz. But they end up losing 4 heroes on the side of Beast Coast.
Well played there by Infamous in the re-engage. They kind of baited because they saw, well, they heard our cast, of course. They're like, oh, Hector always runs at us, right? Let's try to bait that out. Because Hector was actually going really far out from his team a couple of times. I thought, oh, you could punish this, and they did here. And all thanks to Faker. I think Faker was a big reason why they got that. He's been playing a really smart Lina, staying behind, never getting caught really by anyone, making it very difficult for Beast Coast to engage, and always a threat to Terrorblade. Oh, initiation. They got, I think, the Earth Spirit.
Initiation. Schofield throwing his body at them and then just dying. I think he was trying to... Yeah.
Schofield. That was a Schofield, right?
Space. And also feeding them a gem. How nice of him.
Time. Yeah, he was making time. Making time. Smart. Thank God. We have this
just chewing through this back door. It doesn't even matter. Look at this.
It's all the Linas, really. I mean, actually, Papita's doing incredible. Now, finally, the backdoor protection ends, and now they can actually take the towers.
This is going to be 2 racks because they don't have buyback on Chris Luck or Whisper.
Yeah, it's tough.
Door's up, but he needs more than just himself, along with a Phoenix.
Oh, you please do not die.
TP right there. Oh boy, Phoenix immediately followed up with the arrow, and Hector, he's just going to try to one-man them here. But they just walk away. Where's your catch?
Hector
he can't do anything. He's gonna be so okay. There it is. There's a pop over on the Leakin. I mean, it's enough apparently to make them second guess themselves. They need to go and land that call into arrow. I think Hector's just a big, bad, scary man.
Yeah, but you lost. I mean, the meta will be on cooldown now. I wonder if you could actually abuse that on Infamous. Because I mean, this is the kind of team that will smoke when there's only 4 people alive or whatever. Axel, oh, he's baiting, but you never know what Axel's doing. Truly.
But he can't quite get past these cogs.
Impassable terrain. No, he might be able to suck your soul, but he can't beat the electricity, right?
No. Science beats arcane.
It's true. It's very true. That's why Ancient Psychic
No one's gonna use that light fire spell when you can just turn on a light bulb. Come on now. Alright, in the pit they go. Sorry, I forgot you're not Jenkins. Jenkins would have gotten that.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Why aren't you more of a nerd, Avo? Damn it.
I don't play enough RPGs. I just play Dota all day.
Alright, the roll. Alright, Papita a little bit off the mark here. Lotus coming through. Nice hook shot though coming out from Excel. He's going to be able to go push everybody back. BKB is going to get popped over here onto the Lina. They jump forward. They immediately just blow up Chris Luck. And they're going to be able to blow up Whisper too. Both of them are down now. And poor Hector, he's all alone. He can't do anything. He's not being able to hit anything. He needs to go. He needs to get a thunder up. He can't do it again. As Schofield tries to roll away, he wants to get this kill on Excel, but the arrow just hits him on the booty as he's trying to go through. And down goes Schofield. That fight alone may have just cost him the game.
They have buyback on Schofield and they have buyback on Hector, but I don't think Hector has the Metamorphosis, right?
No, he does not. All right, there's the buyback though. We don't want to let this go yet.
You have Egg
what
as
can
well.
A Phoenix and a Terrorblade do all by themselves? That's really hard, especially not without the meta.
Schofield, buy back, dude. What are you saving it for? Next game?
I don't know. Apparently. All right, the force forward immediately. He wants to try to find us, but there's just so much damage. I'm not sure why they wanted to do that. Sunray comes through. This is not looking. He's not going to be able to get the thunder up again. He's just dead. That's going to be game.
Okay, that was weird. It seemed like the plan was like, guys, all right, I only have melee form, so if you force staff me towards them, I'll hit them more, right? That makes sense. But that was, you've got force staff into 5 enemies in between them.
I mean, you don't have the meta. You don't have the meta. What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't really defend that. That was unfortunate for Beast Coast. It seemed like they had it, and they almost lost it a couple team fights that weren't too great, but I think Infamous played that incredibly well. In fact, big kudos to Faker. I think Faker played it out of his mind this game. An incredible Lina, really coming out of his shell. This guy is really improving as a player. I'm glad to see him play this well.
Yeah, Faker looks fantastic here. 14-1-16, he was in the right positioning almost always. He was able to really like you. This combo is actually just so good too, right? You've got the axe, you've got jumping in with the call, you've got the Marana follow up with the arrow, and then you just land all of these stuns on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Very just well played by the side of Infamous.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Pakaz did exactly what he needed to do, but I definitely say the Lina Shone Faker, definitely one of those kids to keep your eye on. I would say right now, top three
Yep.
for mids here in SA. But Beast Coast, they had a good start and they lost the momentum. They started to
Mm-hmm.
just get picked apart a little bit too much. They started taking there was like 2 or 3 just really bad fights in a row, and I think that really did them in.
Yeah,
So
I think Beast Coast is very used to having these disorganized team fights because they have such good coordination as a team and such good team chemistry that they can get away with it very often, because they just play really well. But with a Pugna, it's not up to your team chemistry. Like, he's just a click hero. Like, he has no
right.
skill shots or anything. He needs to be in range to be able to reverse suck you and also do the Crumbify. Otherwise, you're gonna die. And Hector going on alone was not the best play in the couple matches
I
because
still don't know what happened, and I don't know why Schofield was also
with him, I mean, I don't.
was waiting so long for that, honestly.
Oh, the
But
buyback at the end. Yeah.
yeah, the buyback. But it is a best of 3 series, so maybe they're just shaking off some of that dust, and they'll get the chance to bounce back. But Infamous right now, they're looking very strong, and it's been really fun to watch them. But thank you so much for hopping in with me, Mr. Avo Plus. This has been so much fun to talk SA Dota with you. You're truly a treat, and I think we do have Jenkins ready for the next game, but. Again, just wanted to shout you out. Make sure you follow him, guys. He's awesome. He knows a lot about the South American scene. He's very, very passionate about it. And hopefully we'll get to cast again soon together.
Thank you for having me as always. And I'm going to go to sleep, but then I'll watch the replays with Jenkins because I love you two together. A wonderful casting duo. So bring the hype, Moxxie, and good luck with the next matches.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll have game number 2.